the Republic of Kenya, Right Honorable RAILA Amolo Odinga, to kindly come and deliver to us his memory and his wishes for this fallen hero. Karibu Mheshimiwa RAILA Amolo Odinga. Karibu sana.
Your Excellency, President Uhuru Mwai Kenyatta, President of the Republic of Kenya, First Lady Mama Margaret Kenyatta, Deputy President Archbishop Anthony Muheria, and all the clergy, the family of our departed Mzee Emilio Mwai Kibaki, waombolezaji wote ambao wamefika hapa. God is good and all the times. Asanteni sana. We have come, as I said yesterday, to take final farewell to a great Kenyan patriot. Now, I want to say a few things today about Mwai Kibaki. I want to say that the life and history of Mwai Kibaki is very much contemporaneous with the history of independent Kenya. Because as you said, Kibaki resigned from teaching to come and join the liberation movement. He was the chief executive officer of the most vibrant national movement for liberation, KANU. And in the elections of 1963, KANU won the elections, beating the then opposition KADU. Then, after that, Kenya became first independent, eventually a republic. So he was assistant minister, vice president, and a president, leader of opposition. But development in Kenya after independence are very much akin to what took place in the rest of the African continent. The constitution that brought independence was a fairly liberal constitution with a devolved system of government called Majimbo. Through a series of amendments, Majimbo was disbanded. Then also several amendments were introduced to the constitution, which basically removed power from the periphery to the center. We ended up with a very authoritarian, or what we call imperial presidency. To cap it all, in 1982, they brought Section 2A, which introduced a single-party system. They was introduced by the then Minister for Justice and Constitutional Affairs, our friend Charles Njonjo. Mwai Kibaki is the one who seconded it. I'm saying this because it's good for us to say it. We have had a long discussion with him. He did not know the implications. He later on himself became a victim of it all. Because in 1988, they brought Mulolongo system of election. They called them that open democracy. Then, after that, they did the reshuffle and was removed from being vice president, made minister of health. He did not feel humiliated. He stayed there as a gentleman. Some of us were fighting for repeal of Section 2A and reintroduction of multi-party politics. But because he was inside that system, he said that it is not possible to introduce a multi-party system. Those of us who are calling for it were like somebody cutting a mugumo tree, the razor blades. Fortunately, with the fall of Berlin Wall, the wind of change that was blowing in Eastern Europe began to also blow in Africa. And through it, Section 2A went. And now we are allowed to form a political party. And Kibaki said that in his deep mind, he has always cherished multi-party system, and immediately resigned from KANU to form DP. So he joined us. We were already then in Ford, and he joined DP. Then eventually, Ford also eventually split into Ford Kenya and Ford Asili. So we now have Ford Kenya, Ford Asili, DP. We try to bring these people together. Ken Matiba, Jaramogi, and Kibaki. Eventually tried to, with Kibaki's people, we're negotiating. Uncle George Mohoho is here. And the late John Keane, Gegi Muigai, we tried to negotiate. It was not possible. And we said that if you guys don't agree to hang together, we shall be hanged separately. So we went to the elections, and truly they were hanged separately. One whole post there for Matiba, one for Kibaki, one for Jaramogi. So, but we came together now in the opposition. First Matiba was the leader, then Jaramogi. Then both of them eventually went. In 1997, we now tried to come together again. There was Kibaki, Amalwa Kijana, Charity Ngilu, and yours truly. To try to come together. The late Mr. Leakey and Paul Mwite tried to mediate to bring us together. It did not work. Then again, we were hung separately. One for Kibaki, RAILA, Amalwa, and Charity. So we stayed together like that. Come 2002, we are coming together again. We were separate. And then we came together to try to talk. And I was emphasizing that this time around, please, let us agree to have one candidate. And the negotiation took too long. The crowd was already in Uhuru Park. It was packed. They are saying, oh, let us go and tell the crowd that, oh, we will come back in 2 weeks' time. Now we have united. Come back in 2 weeks' time and tell them who is our candidate. I realized that we saw it in 92, we saw it again in 97, it's not going to work again. So this time around, I decided to take the debate to the Wananchi. Then I asked them, because I was the last person to speak, I asked them, Simze Kibaki tosha? And the crowd roared back, Kibaki tosha, na wakaanza kuimba, yote yawezekana bila Moi. That is the NAC revolution. The rest is no details. But I was saying this because I saw where we were, and we had a long discussion with Mwai Kibaki. In my view, Mwai Kibaki had the knowledge, the experience that we needed in that period of transition. I got Akel hit so hard. By the time I arrived home, my wife has received so many phone calls. saying how I had messed up. But I said there's no going back. We'll move forward together with Mwai Kibaki. So I'm here with my wife Aida there, and my elder brother Dr. Buru. They've come here as the family of Jaramogi. Now we sat down and signed an MoU. That is what we are going to do after we formed government. This famous or infamous MoU. And when we were negotiating, everybody was very fresh. Kibaki is the one who suggested we need only 3 months. We will have passed that new constitution. Unfortunately, when we left, we started the campaign. And we went for campaign in Kitui. We ran around and we slept in the residence of Mr. Musila, former PC. When we left, we went for rallies in Kitui town, came back to Kitui town. We were rushing back now to Nairobi. My car was leading. But then they told me Kibaki was in a rush for another appointment in Nairobi. So I let them pass. So we were following. Then we come toward the junction there, Machakos Junction, and the accident. So from there, we put them in a car, Musila's car, and we were following, coming to Nairobi. We were found in Nairobi Hospital. We arrived at Nairobi Hospital, and the crowd is there. He's taken inside and for treatment, emergency. The crowd was so anxious, what's happening? So I came out and I told them, look, our captain is injured, but the march will continue and we shall win this march. And after that, we evacuated Kibaki to London for treatment. And he came back. He was a very strong man. Mwai Kibaki, apart from being brilliant, brainy, has also got a very strong physical constitution. Because he has gone through several challenges that I know. Then, after that, when he came back, followed another one, which was now again admitted in Nairobi Hospital. So then now, we are victorious, we won the elections, and what happened is that a group that was around Kibaki, the reason why I've always said this is not Kibaki, there was a clique that was around him, which took charge. And they're the ones who were responsible for what happened, for relegation on the MoU that we had signed. But he said, some of our people making noise, oh, this is betrayal and so on. I said, no, this is not Kibaki. Let us stay in the government. Then came the issue of the Katiba. There are those who did not want the Katiba that had been drafted. Then you know how it happened, bananas and oranges. And when that happened, then we were thrown out of government. We met again now in the elections. But when we met, then they were in crisis. We negotiated with Mwai Kibaki and eventually agreed that Kenya is bigger than all of us. So we must unite together in the interest of Kenya. We formed a grand coalition government. Kibaki president, yours truly the prime minister. Mudaura should have told you how we ran the government together. Because Francis, if there's somebody who was really responsible for the success of our government, is this gentleman, this old man called Francis Mdaura. He knows, he did not tell you the role that you have truly played in infrastructure development. In terms of roads, I was the one who took the pain of demolishing structures so that we could construct those roads. And I was censored in the cabinet, but Kibaki defended me in the cabinet. I said, where we are demolishing structures are structures which are built on road reserves. And those people have already been compensated. So Kibaki has said, kama watu najenga kwa barabara, ibomolewe. Ibomolewe. Yes, what do you want us to do? And that is what happened. We sat together and we created what is called the National Economic and Social Council, NESC, as a think tank of the government. And that NESC is what came up with most of these projects. This LAPSET, SGR, the Konza, ICT City, special economic zones, all these came about as a result of the discussions in the think tank. What I want to say is that Mwai Kibaki is somebody with a clear foresight and is ready to negotiate and also to take in new ideas. And through that, he managed to open the government and get new progressive ideas about development. So here, we've come today to say goodbye to Mwai Kibaki. He was transformative. He came up with progressive ideas and he was able to bring all of us together and create a team that was ready to work for Kenya and say that Kenya first, everybody else is second. And therefore, we are paying a tribute to a great Kenyan leader. Fare thee well, Mwai Kibaki. In your journey, convey our greetings to Hayati Mzee Jomo Kenyatta, to Jaramogi Oginga Odinga, to Thomas Joseph Mboya. Say farewell also to Nyayo when you meet him. Rest in peace.
Thank you. Thank you, Right Honorable.